Hey guys, welcome back. This is going to be your reading for the June energies. I'm going to take a look into my crystal card deck that I usually use and see what's in store for us energetically for the month of June. Tomorrow, on June 2nd, we have Venus conjuncting the Sun. Venus is retrograde right now in Gemini. And this is going to bring us a little bit of reprieve, very momentarily for one day, but it's going to bring in a burst of clarity around the issues that the Venus retrograde has been bringing about for many of us, which is really causing us to find out what our values are around how we get our information, how we assimilate information. And this idea of Gemini is all about wanting to learn things from like a new perspective, like you're new at something, you just want to absorb it all. And just kind of like really affecting us and causing us to go into reflection about how much we value that and how important that is to us to constantly be learning and looking for information. It's also highlighting our values around friendships and socializing, and how important those are to us, which, you know, coming out of this pandemic, those I think are starting to become quite apparent to all of us, how important our health is tied into the social aspects of humanity and how much we need to be around one another, and how simply like hugs and just being around people you care about actually influence us. So all of that has been kind of coming into play. It may have been bringing up some shadow work that the Sun conjuncting Venus tomorrow is going to actually bring forth for us. So expect perhaps sudden bursts of downloads or ideas or aha moments, like clarity around this issue. Also on Friday the 5th, we have our lunar eclipse in Sagittarius. So that's our first eclipse of this eclipse season, the first one of 3 to come. We have the lunar, then the solar, then the lunar again in July. So there is definitely some intense energy coming in here. I'm already feeling for this lunar eclipse, it feels a little, it feels transformative, but also dark. I don't know how else to describe it. It just feels like it's trying to shift something. And it's not so much that I feel like the shift is going to happen in the lunar eclipse. I almost feel like the shift's going to be activated and start shifting things leading up to the solar eclipse come summer. So, okay, let's go into the cards and find out what they have to say for us about the month of June. Okay, so what's in store for the month of June? It's too many cards. What's in store for us for the month of June? Oh, wow. Okay. The first card coming out is Opal, emotional magnification. And then we have Azurite, focus, is the second one kind of coming out. So let's see what else we have here. I can definitely see like the emotional magnification is very obvious, and really a lot of the sadness of all the riots that are happening right now, the event that took place that started everything was very sad and sparked a lot of emotions. And Azurite is, with this focus card, I'm kind of picking up that it's so important to really keep our emotions in check, and to not let, or at least not let the emotions drive you out of the focus of where the focus actually needs to go. See here. Yeah, okay. Because then we have Lapis Lazuli, which is realization. Okay, something's trying to come into our awareness this month. There's a lot of purple and blue, like darker colors here. So third eye, crown chakra. Okay, and as I'm saying that, Apatite comes up again, foresight. Wow, there is definitely something, it's like some sort of massive awareness is what I'm feeling is going to be breaking through this month. On a microcosm, in a personal level, we're all going to be experiencing these triggers through our emotional field, which is part of the test of how do you stay focused and not allow the emotions to be manipulated, whether it's just in your own relationships with people around you, to not get pulled out of like where you really want to be in your own divine alignment. It brings forth some sort of realization that is needed at this time, and allowing, with the foresight, it's about being able to see into the future and almost it's like being able to see the struggles or pinpoint. Okay, they're showing me the Seven of Swords in the tarot deck, which is all about strategic planning. It's not always about deception and being stolen from. It's more about strategic planning. The strategic planning is on the dark and the light sides that we need to be aware of. As much as the strategic planning feels like it is only dark, the strategic planning through the light is also very strong and can be enhanced through not allowing the emotional magnification and the focus to stay intact, so that the realizations could come forth and you can see what you need to see in order for you to be well prepared in the future. And that can apply to just personal lives, but then taking it up to a collective level, that's also what I'm seeing. I want to say before I go, I'm going to just sit with the cards a little bit longer, but before I do, I'm debating on whether or not to put out a video. I've received some intuitive information on the very unfortunate event that took place last week with the cop, and yeah, I received some intuitive information on that I want to share with you, but I have a feeling I'm going to have to do it with some pieces of paper with words written on it so I don't get censored. So stay tuned. I think I'm going to be doing that in the next day or so. Okay, so let me just sit with the cards, and I'll be right back with your reading. Okay. Wow. This reading couldn't have come at a better time for us collectively, but I am literally seeing this reading play out in my life right now. It's giving me chills, and it's kind of leaving me a little bit speechless, to be honest. So let's start. Opal, emotional magnification. This is asking us to finally get really honest and truthful about what we feel, and to get really honest about that, to not hide it. Many times we'll suppress some of our feelings, or we'll write them off, or we won't pay that much attention to it, and things can really fester. And what could have been something really small, like a small truth, magnifies into something that it didn't need to be. And right now we're being called to really understand what our feelings are, to really tune into the emotional field around us, which makes a lot of sense when we look at it collectively, right? And of course, anything that's happening collectively is happening within us all. We're all contributing to it, which is just great mirror work for all of us to go within and see how that is being reflected on our own inner scape. So there is a truth that needs to be revealed and spoken, perhaps to someone in your life, that needs to be shared to prevent something from going down a path you may not want. And the reason why I say this is because all the cards are talking about this. It's about breaking a cycle. This whole reading is about breaking the cycle of unconscious work and becoming the conscious divine being, to be in control of your path and how you move forward. So Opal is really asking us to do that, to be truthful about the way we feel and to take an action on that. So oftentimes we may realize what is true, but we're so scared of the outcome. And I'm literally going through this right now. And I've been really having to push myself out of my comfort zone to take action where I wouldn't normally take action, because I'm so afraid of like how it may turn out. But again, with this idea of like, we're here to break cycles, to break free, to liberate. And of course, when we take that to the collective level, we literally are breaking free of like not a magnetic, an emotional matrix binding system. Okay. The next card that came out was Azurite, Focus. And this card's really beautiful. There's a lot of blue in here representing the third eye, but there is also some orange, warm orange colors. And these colors, what Azurite is doing is focus, is it's really beautiful. It's a highly intuitive card, but what it's an ancient stone that was used to link the sacral chakra with the third eye, to do like a figure eight through the body. So linking forward, coming through the heart chakra, coming back behind, up through the third eye, down through the heart, and back behind and in through the sacral chakra. And what I'm seeing right here is that our intuitive nature is being called upon right now to be more activated, to activate, you know, how we understand that we have intuitive gut feelings, that we have a second brain in our gut. We do receive a lot of intuitive information through our gut, and to link it to the third eye as well, to bring forth clear insight into something, to not be reactionary. This is what's so interesting too, is when Azurite comes in, it's really asking us to slow down, to not react to something the way we always have been, but to perhaps allow the full mental body of our being, so the entire mental the entire mental field, energy field is what I meant to say, to take what's the word I'm looking for? Advantage of all of that before we take an action of focus. So it's about really accessing more information before we act. And so it's really needing us to stay focused and to activate the connection between the sacral and third eye, to give us like some sort of mental directive. What it does is it allows us to open up to our own greatness, and to open up gateways and doorways that have never been available to us, because we've been more in the lower chakra system of fight or flight, survival mode, trapped in the matrix. This is like a liberation from that, is what I'm really kind of picking up. And then the next card that we have is Lapis Lazuli. And these cards are so tied in. Like, this is all about your pineal gland activating, and this ability to finally give voice to the spiritual teacher within you. This is also activating a very expressive voice within us collectively, but it comes from pure wisdom and knowledge. This stone activates not just our ability to tap into and remember our past. So this is actually the realization, it comes through an activation of our own remembrance of who we are, but it also is activating the doorway to infinite knowledge for us. And we're being asked right now to use it more at this time, because there's information that is available to us as we're being basically kicked up into a shitstorm here on Earth with everything that's going on. It's designed to take us out of this, and we're being guided not to let that happen. Why am I like losing my words right now? The mantra, I guess we could say, I want to say statement, but the mantra here is, or the affirmation, that's the word I was looking for. The affirmation for Lapis Lazuli is, I am free in my world. I am the path of realization. And I'm getting a sense that globally, what's going to be happening this month is that there is going to be more of an awakening to the actual freedom that is available within the mind, okay, that creates the path of realization forward. I actually made this comment on a Facebook post yesterday of realizing that the only way we liberate ourselves from the victim mentality or state of being is by realizing that we can release ourselves from the victimhood. Remember, the victim perpetrator loop needs to have both active. As soon as you remove the victim or the perpetrator, neither can exist. Because they're codependent energies. And so the other one kind of just dies off. It needs to have the other one to keep it alive. It's almost like parasitic energy. And so what I'm kind of seeing is that that there's an awakening happening to what has been perpetuated on us of this victim state of being, and breaking free of it through the mind, through the realization of realizing that if you are not a victim in your mind, you are not oppressed, you are not held down, you are not controlled. And that is kind of what's coming through here, activating the pituitary gland and cutting away what isn't true. Okay, this stone is like so masculine in its energy, it just drives the truth straight through like a hot knife through butter. It's like it just cuts away all the BS, so that the truth is only left. And I'm feeling like that's going to be happening this month. Okay, then the last stone we have is Apatite. Okay, and this card is about planning. It's about having foresight. That's why I was shown the Seven of Swords, and the strategic planning is so necessary. It's about Apatite is used to treat some of the most common problems of our modern world, one of which is highly responsible for its current state, which is the poor use of power in love, okay, and spirituality. And so it's about really waking up to the love that we're being drawn away from, the division that's being created amongst us, and to be honest, that many of us are feeding into, because we don't realize it. We think we're fighting for the right thing, and not realizing that it's dividing us even further. And the only pathway to unity and love is unity and love. It's not more division, and it's not hatred. And so this is powerfully activating the minds, allowing us to think before acting. And this is very important. So as you can see, we've been taken out of this beautiful progression here of really getting clear about what it is we're feeling and needing to take action on those feelings. Okay, but taking action from a place that is truthful, not reactionary, because it's so important that we connect that sacral gut feeling. Like oftentimes when I've been seeing some of these videos that have been posted online, it makes me sick to my stomach, like I can't even watch it. And that's an attack on our sacral chakra. And knowing that we really shouldn't be looking at those videos, because every time we do, it's energetically attacking that sacral chakra, which is where our abundance codes are held. And it also is a gateway into our intuition. So making sure that we're now activating that link to the third eye, okay, with azurite, and then with lapis lazuli, like really activating that pineal gland, it's like, and then boom, like all of a sudden, like insight, strategic planning, foresight, knowing how to move forward without being reactionary, knowing all of your steps and potentially the dark steps before they even take it, removing obstacles ahead of time, because you know that they're going to be there. That's what this is all about. Now, take it down to a personal level. Okay, if you're dealing with someone in your life, or this is just like something that you're going through personally, this is something we're all being called to, is to not be reactionary, to think things through, and not just briefly, to really sit with it, to access all of the mental energy within our field, to put forth and to use the guidance through our intuition and access to ancient knowledge and wisdom, to then finally know how to plan and take action then through planning. So this is what's happening for June. It's very specific energy. And remember, this Lapis Lazuli is about cutting out any BS, like none of that's staying. So we've got these energies coming in that is just really cutting away all of the clutter, anything that might be confusing, anything that is preventing realization from coming to fruition. So yeah, so guys, that's my reading for you. Okay. I hope it was helpful. If you need any more information, just head on over to my website. All of the links are in the description below. Don't forget my podcast. I've got Laura Eisenhower this week, and she's got some great information to share with us on the second wave and if it's coming and how do we collapse that timeline. It's a great show, and that'll be airing on Enlighten Up tomorrow at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Mountain Time, so 9 p.m. Eastern. And what else? Yeah, just stick around. I'm going to see if I can get that video out to you guys on what I've been picking up intuitively, the messages that I've been given of what I believe went down to create this whole thing happening. Yeah, that's it, guys. My alchemy program, you know, that's there. If you want to join us, I'd love to have you there. Guys, I love you so much. Have a wonderful month of June, and I'll be back with you all real soon.